All right, we are live. Hello, everybody. I'm BMillzebub, and welcome to my channel. And for tonight's Apostate interviews, I have the Gray Skeptic. How you doing, bud?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. Pretty stoked about that picture of the black hole that came out today. You know, you've seen the picture, right?
Yes, yes. I've seen the picture. I didn't get to read the whole article with it. The picture looked neat though. Um,
Yeah.
it's like I don't go by Cosmic Skeptic because that was taken already. But I really love I really love the cosmos. Um, it's really cool. I was really excited about it. I knew that it was going to be really hard for us to get a picture of a black hole. Um, but yeah, I think it's really neat. I think it's just the first of many, really.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, now that we know how to
Gotta capture
uh, take pictures of them, I'm sure we'll be finding a lot more of them now.
Yeah.
But as cool as that is, we're here to talk about you tonight. So I like to start every interview with by having my guest talk about their channel a little bit. So tell us a little bit about your channel.
Oh well, I appreciate that, but I do want to like let everyone know a black hole is way cooler than a Mac hole. That being said, I am Mac, the Gray Skeptic. I have a YouTube channel called Gray Skeptic, where I mostly focus on um, religion. I try to involve a little bit of philosophy, some logic, some reason. I want to involve more philosophical arguments in my videos, um, but I don't put out like direct topic videos very often, at least anymore, if I can even say anymore. But I also do something similar to what you do on your channel. I do what is called atheist flashbacks, where I have the guest more or less act like they are that old Christian again. And you have to take a drink if you can't keep character or if you just break.
All right.
So
I've actually had a couple of people say that you need to turn up your volume a little bit. I know you're on your phone, so that's not really an option, but maybe.
yeah, so I'll try to speak up a little bit more. Sorry, I'm at work tonight, everyone. So I'm trying not to yell too much, but I'll try to project a little more. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of what I do on my channel. And then I have a second channel called League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, and that's more focused on religion and politics, both. And I do that with the other lovely person in our community, Christy Santiago, and Nacho Witness is our producer. So that's pretty much all of my YouTube time is those two channels.
Yeah, it takes up quite a bit of time, because you have to come up with topics for two channels and you have to, do the research, behind any topic you do. And then there's actually doing the thing. And I don't know where you get the time.
Doing the Leah thing live really helps a lot because like there's no editing. Just like if I fuck up, that's where that's where it's at. And but so yeah, um something live works with my schedule a lot better. Like if I have time, I can sit down, we can do it. And if I say something stupid, you guys can hold it against me.
All right. So what religion were you raised as?
I was a Christian, sir.
Any particular denomination?
Oh, absolutely not. Christian all the way. Christian means made of Christ. So you could say non-denominational, but you really don't need to because I was a Christian. Denomination enough.
It's interesting. Because
Isn't it?
like everyone else I've asked has always had, some particular sect, but I've never heard your answer before.
Yes. I've got an interesting background. Fun fact: the godless Iowan, now just Maddie, um, he actually went to my church for a hot minute.
Really?
Yeah, So yeah, we went to the same church, probably at the same time. But I've always I was always a part of mine via or via I don't know who I'm talking by broadcast, or we had videotapes of the sermons. So,
Hmm.
so he actually went to the church though.
All right. So what's the craziest thing that you remember about your former religion? Was it like young Earth creationism or?
Well, see, that's not an easy question. Um, I, and I can't really start with just the craziest because then we'll just focus on that the whole night. So I guess with the young Earth creationism, yes and no. We believed, to break it down generally, that there are three Earth ages. There was an Earth age before this one, where God and Jesus and Satan and everyone else, every um, person who lives on Earth, and who will, like all of those spiritual beings lived um, before this Earth age. And now we live in this Earth age. And there will be another one when God comes back for Judgment Day, when the Antichrist is here, and brings his kingdom with him, because heaven is where God is. That's like how heaven is defined, um, and hell is basically like set apart from God. So there's that too. But we have we'll have this third Earth age. So he'll destroy this world that we have, but that won't matter because this is flesh body, right? So once he comes down and destroys the Earth with like hellfire and brimstone, um, not one brick will stand, and every person will like bow and all that jazz will happen, but we'll all be in our spiritual bodies. It looks like the video cut out.
Mm,
No?
oh yeah, your video is frozen. It's
Oh, cool. Good.
off.
So there's that. Well, now you guys can't see my manners. Oh, cool. I'm back, I think. We'll see what happens. I can't fix anything. I'm really sorry, everyone. So I just hope my audio sticks in here.
Yeah, you might have to be a little louder because
A little bit louder.
a couple people are having some trouble hearing you.
Really sorry, everyone. I'll try to keep on it. Um, so, um, so the three Earth ages is one thing that's really big. But to really put it in context for you, what we believed for this first Earth age, when that was, um, is we pretty much just lived with the dinosaurs in our spiritual bodies.
Wait, so you used to believe that my like my spirit could ride a Tyrannosaurus Rex if I wanted to?
I mean, you probably did, actually.
That
You
is
probably
badass.
did.
I'm a Christian again. I wanna
Yeah.
I wanna
And,
ride a T
and
Rex.
and you will again, because in the third Earth age, God will bring everything back.
Damn yes, I'm gonna ride a dinosaur.
Yeah, it's your only chance. You better get on the bandwagon now.
See, but
Ride dinosaurs with
what if this
Jesus.
is the wrong religion and it's really I don't know, something that's not being conjured up by anyone on earth and I just piss God off and I don't get to ride a dinosaur as punishment.
Right? Yeah, and like I think that's a pretty rough punishment, though. Honestly, I think that's pretty rough.
Yeah, I mean, because who doesn't want to ride a dinosaur? That's
Godless
too cool.
heathens, mindless fools. um, and honestly, that wasn't a selling point um, for me. Like I got this from like the time I was 4 years old. It was like we used to live with the dinosaurs. So yeah, that might be the craziest. It might actually not be though.
I mean, it sounds weirdly creationisty, but
Yeah. Well, because so can I tell you like the logic behind this just a little bit? You
yes,
want to know?
yes.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Next line. The earth was void and without form. Okay, now between first and second, there's an undefined amount of time. Now, I've heard this from a couple different religious people, um, but never to like the extent of how I've explained it. Um, the earth was void and without form. We were told that it was translated poorly, and it's actually the earth became void and without form. So then that adds an undefinite amount of time between the first and second verse. So when the dinosaurs got wiped out, God got pissed, and then so much time passed, and then he made Adam and Eve.
That's just weird.
You're
Like,
just having a hard time accepting the truth.
I
That's what,
am,
that's what it
yeah,
is.
and that's because I love my sin.
You love your sin more than you like Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Apparently,
Get
but
your priorities straight.
I will ride a T Rex. Damn it! Even if we have to make the colossal fuck up of creating a Jurassic Park, I will ride a T Rex
Yeah. Well, the
and be
mosquito thing's not going to
property.
work, but if we could find something, I'd be down.
Eventually, we'll find a way to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get there. I mean, like, if we don't kill ourselves first, we'll bring back dinosaurs, and then we'll kill ourselves.
Or we'll kill ourselves and dinosaurs will come back anyway. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. There's really no telling what'll happen after we're gone.
The dinosaurs will come back. That's the only thing we can be Gnostic about.
Oh,
Hashtag dino comeback. Hashtag not part of Ken Hovind stuff.
oh. All right. So, what is it that got you to start questioning your Christianity?
Astronomy.
Really?
Astronomy got it. Yeah. Just wanting to learn more about it really, really helped. I listened to a crash course by PBS Astronomy, and the host was Phil Plait. He's an astronomer, and he's also some kind of engineer. He worked on the Hubble telescope before
Nice.
they tossed it up there. Like so on a low gravity day. But so, yeah, Phil Plait really, really like knows his stuff. One, and just gave me all of this new information in in such a way that I couldn't argue with any of it. And like I wasn't there to argue. I was like there to learn. He mentioned evolution a couple times because it's kind of hard to like when you're going into like a deep dive of astronomy and how we know what we know and the science it takes to get there. That's really what got me is like how we know um, how fast light goes, how we know because we know how fast light goes, how long it takes these distant stars, how long it takes their light to get to us, and how we know what is in those stars, like elemental wise, because of the color, because of this branch of science called spectrometry. Oh, I can never say it. Spectroscopy.
Spectrometry?
Yes. Spectrumology. Spectrumology. I'll call it that. That's what I could say. Um, yeah. So it's just like the study of light and like the like the colors and different elements burn different colors at different brightnesses and vividness. You know what I mean?
Wavelengths?
Yeah,
Are you going? Yeah.
wavelengths, all about wavelengths. Yeah. Um, so that and then that we have this this blue shift. Not blue shift. We have a red shift. Wow, I'm a doofus. Oh, we're still finally. Yeah, we're in this red shift where everything's getting further away from us. So that made me understand that the Big Bang Theory or the Great Expansion happened. And I'm like, all right, so that's pretty definite. Well, that leaves a lot of room for like evolution. And then I kind of learned what evolution was, just like the basics of it. I still can't like explain it super duper well, but I understand what what evolution is, and like it's the um, it's the difference it's the it's the differences that happen across species over time, right? So um, seeing that there was this Big Bang theory, and then seeing how planets form and stars form, just how like the universe just kind of creates itself, like in a strawman view, I suppose. But how atoms just come together in certain ways, and it's kind of inevitable. I think now I believe that, um, yeah, sure, the universe exploded. No, it didn't explode. It expanded, right? From all this mass in one very small, dense, hot point. It expands, and all these atoms, well, like after the electrons cool and stuff, they make different elements, and they come together in certain ways. And carbon's one of those things that like to whore itself out and like merge with everything. And things just connect. Things just combine. Things it's almost like, I mean, electromagnetism is one of the strong forces of the universe, and gravity is another one, right? So things come together, and eventually they make something like a planet. They make something big. So just learning these basic things really started to tear down the kind of young Earth creationist view that I had, and then it kind of destroyed. Well, like if evolution was a thing, then Adam and Eve isn't really a true thing. So um, just one thing after another really started to topple over, and and then the morality part of the Bible, where God didn't really seem to have an issue with slavery, unless it was of his people or his people, whatever. And um, then just like the genocide that he can like commits himself, and that like Moses orders and whatnot, wasn't really meshing with my own morality. Like, and I only had to hear, like, I never had to look it up. I never had to look up, oh, what about this genocide, or what about the slavery? I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember learning about that because we had family Bible study hours. That was our church. We'd watch we'd watch our pastor on TV, and we'd just go through the Bible. He wouldn't just give us a sermon and give you this uplifting whatever shit. He's like, no, you need to study the goddamn Bible if you ever go to heaven. So um, I recognized a lot of these arguments that would come my way after looking into religion closer, and after looking into Hitchens and Dawkins, and things just started to topple over. And I realized, okay, I don't believe any of it anymore. And what's this called? Skepticism? Yeah, I don't think I can believe any part of any spiritual realm believing at all anymore. And that's kind of how it happened for me, if I summed that up enough.
See, that's actually really interesting because it's not often that you hear about young Earth creationists being convinced by real science because, like, from what I've seen of them, they'll try to twist whatever science to um, suit their beliefs. But yeah, no, it's just weird that a young Earth creationist would actually listen to real science rather than fall back on um, you know, indoctrination. That's
It's different, right?
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to me, I think I think we need to come across um we need I had an interest in astronomy. A lot of people like dinosaurs, right? A lot of people like cool sciencey things, volcanoes. Well, like pick one. Um, we need to make sure that our education system is really giving the why we know things more than what we know to kids in school, because it really solidifies um, the science. It really makes it hard to dispute with. I just wanted to know more about astronomy. That's all I wanted because I think stars are pretty. I like looking through my telescope at the planets. Um, I'm interested in knowing like why the sun's up there, like radiating heat, um, and looking it up and looking up like how we know it, just like knowing the science a little bit. I think it's really hard to um, to argue, and I think um, we need to be better at teaching science. One, and two, we need to we need to just we need to have more Neil deGrasse Tysons, right? Um, at um, at more of like a public level, at more of like in school level. We need more science communicators, and I think there's a few channels in our community who who do that really well. Like Apologia, he really brings the science to his videos when he argues um, with with answers in Genesis, right?
Hmm.
Um, but I think what I'm getting at to kind of shorten it up and stop ranting so much is that we need to pick interesting things if we want someone to pay attention to the science. We need to pick interesting things like astronomy. We need to pick interesting things like specifically dinosaurs for evolution because, like, well, Christian doesn't like dinosaurs, right? And we need to just tell them why, how we know, focus on just the how, not what. Like, I don't give a shit what we know. Show them why. Like, name a type of science that they might not have known about, like spectrumology. I'm still saying it wrong. Because I mostly can't say it even when I'm looking at it. Um, like name a science that we have that they might not know about. Um, show them a specific scientist if they'll look. Because that's the biggest thing. Step one, can you get them to look at what you're talking about? Step two, if you can get them to look at what you're talking about, make sure it is pure how we know, not what we know. I'll stop
Oh, I think. Are you still talking?
there. No. I think
Okay.
that I think that was my point.
Okay. Because I thought I lost you for a second there.
So,
But all right. So let's talk about your channel a little more. Why Gray Skeptic?
ooh, no one's really asked me that yet. Um, because I really want to focus not just on religion, but I also want to focus on other hot topics. And I want to try to find the gray area. Um,
Okay.
so to make a few of your viewers maybe not like me, I suppose, to go into that gray area, abortion's one of those really hot topics, right?
Hmm.
And I think it is not a black or white issue. There's my hand. Um, I think it's absolutely not a black or white issue, and I think most people would agree with that. This is like a gray topic. This is a gray area kind of conversation we need to have if we want to pass any kind of meaningful legislation or give anyone any kind of meaningful understanding of what to do with abortion. Because I think um, that we can't be killing full term babies before they come out of the womb, even if the mother doesn't want it. I think that's pretty immoral. But also, I don't think that masturbating into a sock is killing millions of babies, right? So there's the black and white. There's the black and white. So there's a gray area in there where we can find a reasonable amount of time where we can say, hey, it's still okay to abort this fetus. It's still close enough to just a bundle of cells, like it's just pretty much skin cells or whatever. Like you can make a good philosophical argument to where it's just not a person yet. Um, sure, it has human DNA as soon as it hits the egg, but like a lot of things have human DNA, right? Like we throw our DNA everywhere. Um, like skin cells have human DNA, and that just falls off of us all the time. If you cut your arm off, or you have to have your leg amputated, right? Um, that leg is still full of human DNA, but we don't treat it like a person anymore. It's not. It's not. Um, it doesn't have a conscience. It, it um. It doesn't have any kind of reasoning, and it doesn't really necessarily feel pain anymore. Like it doesn't have a brain to to tell it that it's feeling pain. It still has those nerves for a little while until they all die off. But we don't need to just save that leg. It's more important to have the mind. It's more important to have the consciousness. And I think what it more or less boils down to is that we need to eliminate the the cost of that fetus feeling pain and get to it before it's cognitive. I think is the maximal moral goal here. I think there are cases that are like past or like maybe into the third trimester where um, it's going to be stillborn. We can tell that sometimes, where you shouldn't make a mother carry a baby to full term, um, or the rest of the way if it's just dead. That's awful. That's not safe for the mother. One, not safe for either of the parents or the whole family's like mental health. We're like, hey, we know it's dead, but we can't abort it. Like we can't just get this part over with, this atrocious, um, hellish part over with, because of anti-abortion laws. Um, I think there's that in the gray area that we need to look at, and also um, um, I don't think that any of the arguments that say, hey, once the sperm meets the egg, it's a human now. We need to treat it as such, okay? Because, cool, then can we now use the morning after pill? Um, there's like, it cuts off so many things like right off the bat. And it's not really, um, it goes back to the human DNA thing again, I think. So I think that is a gray area topic that needs to be dove into more. And I have it in my channel. I'd like to get a female to help me with that video, so we can have both sides of the of or both sexes talking about that conversation. Um, but not just abortion, obviously, not just abortion. But I'd like to touch on politics just a little bit, but I mostly focus on that on Leah, the League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, and pretty much anything else. I have Gray Skeptic because I think the answers are in the gray area. I've started saying that on my channel because nothing's really black or white, right? I think that I am an atheist, and I think that God doesn't exist. I'm one of them strong atheists. So I actively believe that God doesn't exist. At least the Christian God or any of the other gods that I've heard of, I've found no reason to believe that they exist, and I actively think that they don't. Um, but I realize that religion is an important part of human history. I don't think we should just um, completely shut it down and never talk about it again. I really don't think that. I think that when we're pulling people out of religion, like I would like to do, I'd like to bring more logic, more science, and more fact-based beliefs. I would like more, like Anthony Magnabosco says, I want the people in my society to believe more true things than false things, right? We want to
Yeah.
we want to clear epistemology. So um, I think with that goal, we need to realize still that people are losing more than just an imaginary friend, right? Because when you have this God or this Jesus figure who's more or less ruling how you live your life, um, it takes over your whole life. That's pretty much all there is to it. So that controls life and deaths that happen around your life. So when you lose a person that you love to death, um, you think you're going to see them again. So when you're trying to get someone to get rid of their religious beliefs, you're also re-killing you're not re-killing, not your fault. Don't don't take that. I wouldn't say that. But you were trying to get them in their mind, I would say, to have to recount for all of those deaths that they've had to try to compensate with in a false way. And that needs to be thought about when we're dealing with trying to take people out of their religion. And it's not our fault, but I think it needs to be thought about enough to just to get the point across to them. Like, hey, I know you're losing more than just an imaginary friend. You're losing people that you've lost and loved in your life. So it's like a second death to them. I've talked to this about a few other um, atheist activists, and most of them agree that yeah, that's a real thing, especially if you've gone through like losing any friends, family, children, parents, um, while you were religious. You think I'm going to see them again, and when you realize you don't, that can really tear you apart because you're not ready for it. You've never been given real coping skills, and still it's hard whether you're religious or not to lose someone, but um, to re-lose them in a sense, I think is hard.
All
That's
right.
why Gray Skeptic. Look at more than just the black and white.
All right. So, what got you to start making videos for your channels?
Um, well, if you go back and dig through my videos, not which I have a whole heck of a lot, but um, I started my channel with coming out as atheist, basically. And I didn't like the word; it was still yucky then. But, it's one of those scary words. So like, I think I'm an atheist, but um, I wanted to find like-minded people and like-hearted people, which I think I found in this atheist community, um, which I think is really cool. Because I wasn't really super duper actively looking for them like I wanted to. I didn't I, like I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to this, but by finding atheists in this specific atheist community on YouTube, I've found a lot of like-minded, like-hearted people. Um, and I think that's a really great thing. And as I did that, I wanted to share my experiences and what I've learned, um, almost like a blog, but it turned into something different, obviously. So doing my YouTube channels really keeps me involved in learning. Um, I've enjoyed learning more now than I ever did in high school, ever. So I think I hope that people watching my channel and watching from like people who really actually like me, who want to like go back through and watch all my videos, like I did with Cosmic Skeptic or Rationality Rules or Rachel Oates, but I kind of called her at the beginning. Um, you go back and you watch this person grow in their knowledge and their argumentative skills. I think that's neat, and I wanted to share that because that's something I enjoy. not because I'm narcissistic, just because I like seeing that. I like watching people grow. So I'm just like, hey, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot right now. Watch me be less of an idiot. And I never really said that, but that was a thought in mind. I'm like, I want to find more like-minded, more like-hearted people, and if anyone can watch me go through this journey, if that helps them, I'll feel really good about it. Even if I said some stupid stuff along the way, and I'm sure I have, and I've changed a few of my views since I started making videos, or fine-tuned them. But I think that's fine. I never want to take those old videos down. I want to leave them up so people can see how I've grown. And maybe that will help them start a channel or look at things a new way. I hope.
All right. I know you're a bit more pressed for time than most of the people I interview, so I'm going to skip over a couple of my usual questions. I mean, you kind of answered them a little bit already.
If,
Um,
if you can quick fire some stuff at me and I'll stop ranting. If you want to, that's up to you.
well, I mean, you kind of already answered what the goal of your channel is with that last question. So, is there a series you've done or a particular video you've done for your channels that you're most proud of?
Yeah. And I need to make another one, a third one, I suppose. I have two different videos talking about morality. Actually, I really love the topic of morality because Christians talk like we don't have any. So I really like talking about it, and I like trying to give arguments for secular um, and humanist morality. I think that's really important. The other one that I really am proud of is what I released in December, which you caught wind of, is when I helped to expose a lot of what the Catholic Church was doing when they were kitty diddling, and probably still are, honestly. But um, yeah, that's just like I forget what it's called right off the bat, but it's like a Catholic scandal, or is
Was it the Pennsylvania
and
grand jury thing? Is that
yes,
what you're looking for? Yeah.
yeah, and that the does the Catholic Church have the authority was kind of the thing I was going over. Like, should they have authority to do what they do and how they deal with their problems? They shouldn't. So that's my thoughts.
All right. And what was or is the most difficult thing from your former religion to get over?
Oh, that's a good question. I never really thought about that. Um, probably just the spiritual beliefs, I guess. Just like the base level. Could there be something? Um, I think, I think a lot of atheists. I hope I'm not the only one. Um, a lot of atheists still have those like little flashbacks of like, oh shit, what if I'm wrong? And like, oh, what about this? This was real convincing to me at the time because I had a couple personal experiences, um, like ooh, spooky, ghosty experiences, or so I thought. So that that really made it really hard. So when people say that, oh, I have these personal experiences, well, although we know that those are like the least trustworthy experiences that you can have for evidence, um, they're very convincing, and I understand that. I would say just that.
All right. And I'm out of questions, but I like to start and finish an interview the same way. So if you could plug your channels again, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Um, I am Gray Skeptic of Gray Skeptic, and yeah, you can find me on YouTube. Just type in Gray Skeptic. I'm on Twitter as Gray Skeptic Mac. That's the only difference there. And my other channel is League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism, or the LEAH podcast. So that's LEAH podcast. And that's where we discuss our like religious current events and politics. And that's on every Friday night at about 10:30. That's the consistent one.
All right. Yeah, I mean, you all can absolutely search for him the hard way doing that. Or you can just scroll on down to the description of this interview and you'll find a link to his Twitter, his Gray Skeptic YouTube channel, and his League of Extraordinary Atheists for Humanism podcast channel on here on YouTube. If I can speak English, it would be great. But you will find all three links in the description box below. So as soon as this is over, go ahead and head over to those channels and give Mac a follow, give him a subscription, help the guy out. He makes some really good content. So
Thank you very much. And thanks for having me on tonight. This was really fun. I appreciate it.
yeah, thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. But with that, we've reached the end of the interview. So thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mac, for coming onto my channel to be interviewed. I would say sorry for cutting into your workday, but somehow I think you're okay with that.
I'm okay with it.
All right, everybody. Take it easy, and we'll see you all in the next one.
Good night.